All right, now we're ready. So I'd like to welcome everyone to the Cirque du Soleil press conference. This is a very wonderful opportunity for the community to welcome a very special group of artists who are in our community doing some really incredible things. And before I go any further, I do want to recognize we have Mr. Mark Eckert from the Lake Charles City Council. Mark, thank you for being here. And thanks to all of you for coming out and being a part of this. Thanks to our media partners and those of you who are helping us to spread the word about what's happening here at the Civic Center. And also, I think I would be remiss if I didn't also formally welcome Cirque du Soleil to the Lake Charles Civic Center, to Lake Charles as a city, and to Southwest Louisiana. Now, for those of you who don't speak French, and I know most of us have some connection with that in one form or another here in Louisiana, Cirque du Soleil means Circus of the Sun. And whenever I think of that phrase, Circus of the Sun, in and of itself, it sort of has a mystical, magical quality to it. And those of us here in Southwest Louisiana are also familiar with the term joie de vivre, the joy of life. And I think of the two together. Cirque du Soleil is about celebrating life, and it's a joyous expression of life, and it's really incredible when we watch Cirque du Soleil and what they do. Cirque du Soleil is based in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. It's the largest theatrical producer in the world. It enjoys an international reputation for staging unsurpassed theatrical productions which create an almost magical and entertaining art form. I think that Cirque du Soleil, I think you would probably agree, it provides a new dimension to the term performing arts. I can remember several years ago, Nancy and I went to Dallas and we heard a concert from Paul McCartney, a Paul McCartney concert. And in that concert, he also had some performers with Cirque du Soleil. And it was just incredible to see how they blended that together and how it added to the concert. And it was really a great experience. So on behalf of the city and the members of the City Council, I also want to say how incredibly honored we are to have this opportunity to host Cirque du Soleil while they train to perfect their new show, OVO. And in the next few weeks, believe it or not, they will be debuting this performance right here in Lake Charles. So North American audiences, and I think audiences all over the world are going to be very interested in this production. I want to thank Jim Podorf, our Civic Center Director. Jim, thanks to you. Norman, thanks to you as well for all that you do. And our entire Civic Center staff. If the staff would raise your hands, those of you at the Civic Center, in whatever capacity, raise your hands. Come on, don't be embarrassed. Okay. You help make it happen. Percy Brown, as Director of Community Services, oversees everything. And Percy, thank you as well. You know, I've made a few trips over here. I hope I haven't made a nuisance of myself in the last few days, but I've come over here periodically just to take a peek at what they're doing. And it's really interesting to see how it all kind of comes together. I'm the kind of guy that sometimes at the end of a movie will sit back and watch the credits roll and see all the other people that had to do all these other things in order to make that production possible. And so I've been kind of watching how people have interacted and how the players come together and different things. It's just really, it's amazing. So I think it's also significant that we take some pride in the ability of the Civic Center to attract world-class talent to the Lake Charles area, not only for the show itself, but also as a training complex for this type of production over other venues in the state and region. I think it speaks to the vitality and the importance of this area, both in terms of tourism and in the performing arts as well. We also continue to make significant investments in the Lake Charles Civic Center. As Mr. Eckert can tell you, it's not always easy to get everything that we need, but we do it, and the council supports it, and I do appreciate it. Since 2005, we've made significant improvements to this facility. We continue to do that. It's an ongoing thing, and we also have some new seats that will be planned for the Coliseum. I wish they were here in time for the performance, but they will be next time, and there will be hopefully the next time. But I also want to mention the fact, and those of you who are here in Louisiana, you know that we hear in the legislature, we hear a little bit about the tax credits, the movie tax credits, performing arts tax credits. Well, this is an example of a production that qualifies for that. The Cirque du Soleil chose to do this production in Lake Charles and begin its tour here, in part because of that as well. So there's also another reason. I have to say this, and those have asked, well, really, how did Cirque du Soleil really decide to come to Lake Charles? What was it that sort of cinched the deal? Well, the show, OVO, is about bugs. And the mayor of Lake Charles is named. Let me tell you, growing up with that name, I've been waiting all my life for a long time to be able to take advantage of that. I can remember growing up, some of you that are older like me remember the song that Johnny Cash sang, A Boy Named Sue. Well, it was about the boy who grew up with that name. Well, I kind of could relate to that song, but anyway. But in all seriousness, it is an honor for us. And I do have a couple of little presentations which I would like to make on behalf of the community. I wish I could do this to everybody. I can't make this presentation to everyone who is associated with Cirque du Soleil, but we have two very special people that I do want to acknowledge. First is Sasha Bilodeau. Sasha, he is the Principal Director of Operations. He's the guy that I see every time I come over here, and he kind of looks at me like, what are you doing here now? But Sasha, if you come up, I'd like to make a presentation to you. This is a key to the city of Lake Charles. And I think by now you're pretty familiar with the community, and just to let you know that we present this to you as a token of our appreciation for all that y'all are doing here, and want to welcome you and make you feel a part of the community as well. So there's a key, and in addition to that, I want to also present a certificate which designates you as an honorary citizen of Lake Charles. Don't have to pay taxes, but you can vote. But
thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we also have some lapel pins, which have the key to the city on the lapel pins, and we have a couple hundred of those over there, actually, for all of the all of the performers, all the artists, and all the production crew and everybody. If you need more, let us know.
Very much appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Right. Thank you very much. And next, I'd like to ask a very special lady who is the artistic director, Marianne. Oh, I got it. Marianne van Grunsven. Did I get it? I got it. Good. Well, Marianne is going to tell you a little bit about OVO and about the production, and introduce you to a little bit more about Cirque du Soleil and what they're doing here. But Marianne, also, I want to make you an honorary citizen of the city, and also present to you a key to the city. So that I know you love to travel around the world, and you can travel around the world and come right back here anytime you're ready. So that's your key.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
And your certificate.
Thank you.
And now, the moment everybody's waiting for, I'll turn the mic over to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Jim. I have a lot of people that are helping me this morning. Good morning, and welcome, and thank you very much for being here today. As the mayor said, my name is Marianne van Grunsven, and I'm the artistic director for OVO. And I'm very happy that the mayor made a little joke about his own name, because I wasn't sure if I could. But I really like it. Mayor Roach, thank you for having us here. Very appropriate. I love your last name. I brought a little paper, and usually I don't talk off of a piece of paper, but it's such a special occasion for OVO and all of us to be here in Lake Charles, because it's the first time for Lake Charles. Also, we are, in fact, currently restaging artistically and technically our beautiful show, after having been on a short hiatus, I think is the word, a short break. It's exciting to do that here in such a wonderful place in southern Louisiana, where the hospitality is just very impressive to us. We're all very impressed by your warmth and your welcoming words to us. So I wanted to say thank you for that to start off. It makes us feel at ease. It makes us feel that we can be creative. It makes us feel that we can really give you the best of the best on April 8th. So thank you for that. And now I'm going to sometimes look at my piece of paper because I just want to make sure I'm telling you the right things. The mayor already said quite a lot of things of my speech, so I'm going to just improvise and read. But Cirque du Soleil was founded over 30 years ago and has redefined live entertainment by creating a new art form combining street performance, acrobatics, circus arts, live music, and amazing costumes and set designs in a very unique theatrical way. With 19 original productions currently performing around the world, Cirque has built an international reputation for creating breathtaking shows. Over time, Cirque du Soleil has been acclaimed by more than 160 million spectators around the world. The shows are performed in big tubs, theaters, and currently in arenas as well, in over 400 cities, and with Lake Charles, 401 cities. Our international headquarters are based out of Montreal, and Montreal headquarters is the center where all of our organization projects are created. But even with the 30 years of passion and experience, we still want to improve our work daily, artistically and creatively. We're very proud of our heritage, not unlike you here in southern Louisiana. So how fitting it is for us to be here and start again to create our show. It was very, very cold in Montreal. We already started a few months back in the studio there, thinking how are we going to move our show OVO from the big top to the arena. And it was cold, so we were happy to come here because it's, again, not only warm by your hospitality, but the temperature is just lovely as well. So our show, OVO, actually is Portuguese. The word OVO is Portuguese for egg. So it means egg. But it's not just about an egg. It's a voyage into an ecosystem filled with very eccentric, larger-than-life insects that are going to take you on a journey of love. And we can talk about that a little bit later when we do some questions and answers. But it's a very colorful and emotional journey. The cast of OVO brings together 50 talented artists from 15 different countries. The show blends the best of Cirque du Soleil to create a unique acrobatic and theatrical experience. Since its world premiere in 2009, OVO has entertained more than 4.5 million people. I always have to read because I can never believe it. So, under the big top around the world. So after its restaging here, OVO will be in Lake Charles for only 3 performances, which already makes me feel a bit sad. But we have 3 performances. We can look at it that way as well. And we're very anxious to open here. So you will see some of the most amazing acrobatics that you probably have ever seen. 10 wonderful acrobatic acts, live music on stage, uniquely designed costumes and makeup on a mesmerizing, ever-changing stage. OVO is, of course, a show for the entire family, and it could be a great date night. But instead of talking about it, because I think I've talked enough, I have brought with me today a group of performers, that will show you a little sneak peek into our journey and the life and world of insects. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome OVO.
Wow. Hello, baby. Wow, 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 wow. Okay. Yes, sir. Hey, baby.
Okay, we're going to allow you to ask some individual questions, and those in the media, and also I want to thank the CVB for their sponsorship and participation in all that we're doing here this morning, and as we have continued to do to help promote this. And thank you so much. They have the refreshments over here as sponsored by the CVB, and we always appreciate their participation, as I said, and their support for everything here we do at the Civic Center. So thank you all, and Marianne, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And to our performance. Thank you. I think it's exciting, and we cannot wait. I just can only imagine what it's going to be like. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for all that you do. And let us know what we can do to continue to help. Thank you.
Thank you for having us. So we'll take questions for anyone and from anyone. So if you have a question, please just raise your hand, and then maybe I will introduce you, just real briefly, to the insects that you're seeing in front of you. We have our wonderful ladybug. Her name is Michelle. And we have our foreign fly, François Guillon. And then we have the master of our community of insects, Master Filippo, also known as Gonzales. Then we have our wonderful, one of our spiders, black spiders, Alana over here. And the famous firefly, Tony Fribourg. Thank you guys, that was great. That was our first press conference for our new North American tour. So who has a question?
Can you spell your first and last name?
Oh my goodness. As long as you promise to not pronounce it the way it's written. Okay, my name is M-A-R-J-O-N, sorry, V-A-N, I made a mistake. And then G-R-U-N-S-V-E-N, Marion van Grunsven.
And what's your official title for the...
I am the artistic director for OVO.
She can do everything you saw there.
Of course, I always demonstrate first and then I tell them what to do. Not true at all. Don't be shy.
Where are they from?
Michelle, where are you from?
I was born in St. Louis, Missouri, but I grew up in Seattle.
Woo! François Guillon?
So I'm born in Magdalen Islands in Quebec in Canada. Actually, I'm a Canadian, for those who are Cajun.
You're a what?
Acadian.
Oh, had I known that, I'm not sure if I would have casted you, darling. I'm just kidding.
I am Gonzalo Muñoz from Cali, Colombia.
Alana?
I'm from England.
Well, Tony, go ahead.
So I'm Tony and I'm from France, Normandy.
And you, Marion.
Oh, well, I am from the Netherlands. I love that you clap for that. It's really sweet. So, yes.
Get into the show, audition, or where does that happen?
I would like for an artist to answer this question. If, for example, Michelle, would you be comfortable answering? Would you mind coming to the microphone?
Okay.
Well, I think there's a variety of ways that you can enter Cirque du Soleil as an artist. But in general, Cirque du Soleil has a casting department, and they go all over the world searching for acrobats, dancers, clowns, singers. Specifically in my case, casting came to a show that I wrote and was acting in New York City. And after the show, they asked me to audition for Cirque du Soleil. So I did. I auditioned for them. It's an incredible experience as an artist to audition for Cirque. And then a few years later, they called me to create the role of Ladybug.
Thank you, Michelle. And that is true. We have this department in Montreal. When we are on the road with a show and we need to cast a new artist because maybe an artist decided to move on to a next project or can no longer perform, we as artistic directors send out a message to our headquarters casting department, and we say we need this profile of an artist. And as Michelle was saying, she was contacted, but then it took a few years. Was it 5?
Yeah,
5 years before she actually was contacted for a role. What that means is we are constantly looking to find the right profiles for the characters that we present in our shows. So let's say I need a ladybug, I'm going to receive a presentation of 8 different potential candidates. And then we, together with other assistants, we need to find the best person. And that's what happened to Michelle, and then we chose 5 years later that she would be the best one. And she's been with us since the creation in 2008, 2009. So she is the one and only Ladybug for OVO. Yeah, good question. I'll start with your last question, okay? So, as I was saying in my little speech, we have currently 19 productions performing all over the world, but they're all different. So there's only one OVO, and there's only one Ka, or one Love, or one Kuza. So, as I was saying, we travel with 50 artists, and then we travel with staff and technicians as well, and then every production does so. So we are all our own little community supported out of Montreal. So that's very special, and I like that question because a lot of people think that we have like 5 OVO casts, because we end up showing up all over the world very, very quickly, but this is all us. We travel every 5 days. We go to a different town or a different city, or sometimes it's every 3 days, or sometimes it's once a week. Like, it depends a little bit on the tour, but we go fast, and there's only one of us. And as far as how we decide, I think your question was, how do you decide the content of the show? Yeah? Okay. So in Montreal, there's a lot of, there's a few, let's say, very important people that say, we want to create a new show. How are we going to touch, you know, the 160 million spectators across the world with a new concept? So then there's a creative team that starts to think about, let's say, let's do a concept, insects. We've never done anything about insects, and this is really a great concept because insects are very colorful, as you can see, but not only in their costumes, in real life, they are absolutely stunning. So they start doing research, and they start to define whether or not this concept could be worth it for Cirque. I like to talk about crickets because crickets can jump 300 times their own body length in real life. So we said, wow, let's hire trampolinists that can do the same thing, and then let's create a costume that works for them. And then we can, and so it was a super exciting, all of a sudden, idea to use for Cirque du Soleil with acrobats and clowns and characters and costumes and sets. So it's all, you know, it's a melting pot of thoughts, and then all of a sudden the creative team goes, yes, we want this, and then they start hiring choreographers and directors, and that's kind of how it works.
What time are the performances in April?
Jessica, is it 8 o'clock, 8 p.m.?
7:30.
Thank you.
And then Sunday,
So 7:30, and
and I'm pretty sure
it's on the press release. We are so in our creative bubble right now that we are not even thinking about the times of the shows. Yes?
Talk about the process of getting the dances together choreography, how many hours you put into that, make each dance unique.
Do you want me to talk about that a little bit? Okay. Okay, so let's see. For this particular show, Deborah Kolker created this show. She's from Brazil. And she was actually approached by the founder of Cirque du Soleil named Guy Laliberté back in 2006 already. And he said, look, I want to make a show about insects. I want to work with you because you've done a lot of big shows with big sets. And she was a specialist in creating choreography on a huge wall. So this we wanted this wall. So that was 2006. Then a lot of talks happened, a lot of meetings happened, and in 2008, imagine 2 years later, finally we had a concept on paper, we started casting artists, and the first artist arrived in Montreal in September of 2008. Those were the acrobats mostly, because they needed to start testing this wall and the set and the trampolines and the power tracks and the aerial structures that we had. So we start with workshopping first. We call it workshopping. And then the characters came in, so they started working on their story. And after that, more and more of the artists came in, and finally the real stage came. Do you remember, Michelle, was it the beginning of 2009 when the actual stage came? So the actual stage came to Montreal. We started rehearsing, staging, creating music. And you know, you said dancers, and I have to back up Deborah Kolker, because she always says this is not a dance show. It is a story, it's movement, it's all about energy, but it's not a dance show. Just wanted to make that little point. And so then we worked up until April. We moved into the Big Top in March, so we opened, we did like a soft opening in April of 2009, and the world premiere was on May 8th, 2009. So altogether about 2.5 years before we finally actually premiere. I'll take one more question. Go ahead. How long is the tour? That is the infinite best question ever. We hope it's going to last for another 20 years. There's no end date at this point. Yeah. How great's that?
So the average show.
Yeah. The average touring show, I actually just came from a show called Kidam that has been touring the world for 20 years, and then we closed it. We didn't want to close it, but you know, there comes a time to go to sleep, as we say, for everything. So 20 years is average for a touring show. 15 to 20, I would say. We have our resident shows in Vegas. We have one that's already 21 years, I believe, Mystère. So, you know, we hope to have that lifespan for every show. Some shows don't last that long. It just depends, you know, but that's what we all always dream of, that we're going to go for 20 years. What was that? I don't hear. Next up is Bâton Rouge. And after that, East Coast. Thank you, François Guillaume. After that, we go up. Yeah. I'm sure we can get you the tour plan if you want, sorry. But yes. That's it. Yes? Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming out, and get ready, get your tickets. It's going to be a great show, I know. So thank you all for being here. Again, enjoy the refreshments, and thanks again to the CVB. Mark, you want to come up? We're going to take a quick photo here, real quick.
All together? Yes.